Hi everyone, welcome to Experiment 2. This one's going to be over electric fields and equipotential surfaces. So we have a couple new pieces of equipment to introduce to you that gets used in a lot of these other labs, and then just some really quick stuff to sort of go over how it works and what you would be doing in this lab, and it should be pretty short and sweet. So the first thing that I'm going to point out to you is these boards that we have right here. With these different electrode configurations. So what you would be doing in these ones is putting a current into these and then mapping out where different voltages are on these boards. You would find 10 different points of something that's going to be at 3 volts, 6 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts, 15 volts, and then you would you would connect all those dots together, you would find the equipotential lines, and then you would draw electric field lines that are going to be running perpendicular to those equipotential lines. And so we have all these different configurations, and so what you would see is that for different configurations, you'll get different equipotential surfaces and different field lines. So we're going to be doing one as this parallel plate capacitor right here, and then one of these other configurations. I think what we'll end up submitting to you guys to do is this one with just these sort of 2-point diodes right here. So the first piece of equipment that I want to point out to you that we're going to be using is this power supply right here. And so what this power supply does is just provide a current into our system, into our circuit. So we hook these wires into a positive and negative terminal of our power supply, and then these wires hook into this board, and what it's doing is there's going to be current that flows from this positive terminal. It goes here into the board. Now it's going to be flowing through this board into these two terminals, or these two plates right here, and then it comes back out this wire and goes back into the negative end of this power supply. So this is basically just like a battery right here that's pumping current into our system, and you'll learn more a little bit more about this coming up here soon. So this is our power supply, and then right here we have a multimeter. And a multimeter can be used in a bunch of different ways to measure various parameters that come up in circuits and just electronic systems. And so today we're going to be having this set to volts direct current, and we have this little probe set up, and this will let us measure the voltage for our system. And so the way this will work is we can put this to one of these plates, and we see this plate is reading 0 volts. But if we bring it to this plate, we see that we're reading close to 18 volts right here. And so we know that this is our plate that's at 0, and this is our plate that's at 18. So if we wanted to find our 10 points along here, we start placing our probe just at different points on this board right here. And so now we have a point that's at 15.13, and so we have a little map piece of paper, and we would draw this out and then mark this point on that map, and then we would move it along, and we find one maybe right here. It's at 14.98, so that's another one that we could go ahead and mark, and we would keep doing that, and get 10 spots where we found 15 volts, and then we would move it a little farther somewhere else, and we find maybe right here. Okay, this is 12.28, so let's move it maybe right here. So this is 11.95. So this could be a point for our 12 volts that we need to find, and we find 10 points at 12 volts and sort of spread out across this whole thing, and we do that for, like I said, 15, 12, 9, 7, 5, and 3, I believe. And so you find all those different ones, you do it for another configuration, and then you will map all those things. So we're going to provide you guys with a plate configuration and the equipotential surfaces already drawn, and you're going to be tasked with drawing the electric field lines on there. So again, this was just kind of a quick introduction to a few pieces of equipment that you'll see coming back up again and showing you sort of how this lab would be performed. And that's it for today. I'll see you for experiment 3.